Hello and welcome back to the Law Office of Matthew Kraut. That's me, Matthew Kraut, and today I want to talk to you about DUI checkpoints. Um, Perhaps you've all seen them. If not, what I'm just talking about I'll describe as an action by the police to shut down a street in an area of the city, and by using cones and other traffic barriers, funneling traffic into an area where the police can briefly question people and then detain them if they find evidence that the person has been driving under the influence of alcohol. The question I get often is, are these legal? Because in another video, I told you that the police can't just pull drivers over for no good reason. They have to have a legitimate reason to pull somebody over so that we ensure that their conduct is fair. Usually, in the case of a DUI arrest, that reason for pulling somebody over is a vehicle code violation, such as speeding or running a stop sign or a stop light. In the case of a DUI checkpoint, there usually is no such vehicle code violation, but the people who drive through the checkpoints are detained within the eyes of the law. So the question is, are these legal? And the courts have weighed in on this and said that yes, they are. They acknowledged that they were being conducted without a good reason for the stop, but since DUI driving and the mayhem that falls out from it is such an important thing that society wants to prevent, the court is willing to overlook the lack of that probable cause to detain and arrest, subject to certain limitations. Okay, and that's the important part. The courts have placed 5 limitations on how DUI checkpoints are to be conducted and set up. And if those are not complied with, then the arrests made during them can later be thrown out. So first of all, these limitations are designed to make sure that checkpoints are as fair as possible, and so that the police or police officers that are actually running them aren't using illegitimate reasons to contact certain drivers rather than others, such as race or gender. Okay, I'll talk more about that in just a minute. So they're designed to ensure fairness. So the first one is that the selection and the location of the checkpoint must be based on a good reason, such as that the area of the city in which the checkpoint is being maintained and operated is an area of the city where there is a higher incidence of DUI accidents and arrests as compared to other areas of the city where they're not setting up a checkpoint. Second, there must be advanced publicity of the DUI checkpoint as to the date that it's going to be run, the time that it's going to be run, how long it's going to be run, and the location of where it is going to be run. And that's put in place so that drivers are forewarned of the location and can choose to avoid the location if they desire. The third limitation is that the police have to use a neutral formula and stick to it during the duration of the DUI checkpoint. For example, they can select every third car or every fifth car to question the driver in, or the 10th car. But they have to stick to that. And that's designed to ensure that they aren't pulling cars over based on something about the driver that is an illegitimate reason for the police to conduct their investigation. Again, such as race or gender. All right, so that's the third limitation. The fourth is that the plan and the execution of the DUI checkpoint must be made and supervised at a high level within the police department that's running the DUI checkpoint. It has to be made by somebody such as a captain of the patrol unit. It can't be executed, planned, and maintained by just a random officer who patrols a certain area of the city as his daily or her daily job. And that's designed to prevent rogue officers from using DUI checkpoints or their version of them to conduct illegal traffic stops on people they just feel like pulling over. All right. So the fifth and last limitation on DUI checkpoints is maybe the most important, and it's most important for use later in court. And that is that the department that is running the DUI checkpoint must maintain records for review later of the number of cars stopped and arrests made to ensure that the DUI checkpoint was operated in conjunction with the plan that was put in place ahead of time and is fair, objectively speaking, later on in court. So those are the 5 limitations on DUI checkpoints. Keep in mind that if the police don't comply with these 5 limitations, then the arrests made at them can later be thrown out in court. All right. So that's an overview of DUI checkpoints. During the holiday season, you see more and more of them. We just got through the holidays and we did see a couple of them in my area. So I thought I'd put out this video. But if you have more questions about them, or if you or a loved one was subject to arrest during the implementation and operation of a DUI checkpoint, feel free to give me a call at 805-723-0711, or you can visit me on the web at matthewkraut.com.